Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Caitlin, your geeky girlfriend, and if you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that the internet brought us together and that you are here on my page. And if this is your first video, let me know in the comments. You can wave or something like that. And I hope that this video is what you are looking for. But I'm Caitlin, and you can find me over on Instagram as well at your geeky girlfriend, and we'll talk about more of that at the end. But in today's video, I'm going to be doing a Bookie Babe book review. So we're moving on in this year's rendition, this year's continuation of this series. So every time I finish a book towards my reading challenge, I get on here and I do a full review of the book for you guys here to have more details. I also review everything over on Goodreads as well. Now the difference being Goodreads is only out of 5 stars, and here on YouTube I try and do it more out of a 10. So I try and equate my star rating to a number rating as best I can for here on YouTube. So the video today is going to be book number 1 for 2024, and if you're new here, my goal for the year is to read 24 books because we are in 2024. And I am happy to report that it is January 14th, and I've already read 2 books. So we're doing 1 a week, and I'm really proud of that pace, and I'm really excited. And if we keep up this pace, then I for sure will meet my goal this year. And it is 3 degrees outside today, and the only thing that I want to be doing is sitting under a blanket with a book. So without further ado, let's talk about our first review for the year. And this book is Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. Agatha Christie is a well-known mystery writer, and her books had been on my list for a long time. This one especially, and Then There Were None. And this book I actually got in a book exchange through book club, so I got to unwrap it and then had to read it and give a review on it. And it was a good one. I think it's a good one, a good Agatha Christie book to start off. I was trying to figure out like which one was her first one, especially with the main character, Hercule Poirot. That was Hercule Poirot. I don't know how you would say his name, Poirot, I'm not sure. So we're just gonna say Poirot because that's what makes sense to me, and that's how I read through it the whole time. So if you are hearing this review and you're like, idiot, it's this, just, disregard. Keep that to yourself. We'll just keep that between us. And it also took me a really long time to realize that the cover was actually a train as well. But Agatha Christie herself was a mystery writer, or is a mystery writer, but her own death is considered to be a mystery. It was in 1976, so her death was like a pretty recent, it's within our lifetime, the Boomer and Gen X lifetime that Agatha Christie died, and her death is a mystery kind of itself. If you want more information about that, BuzzFeed Unsolved did a whole video on Agatha Christie's death. I think they've done a couple. So you can find out more information about that right here on YouTube. But for the purposes of today's video, we're going to be talking about the book Murder on the Orient Express, and there is a movie about this as well, which I have not seen. So we might have to watch that and come back and do a movie review, but for now, I have not seen the film. I've only read the book. So the first thing to know about this book is the language in it is very like old-time English. So there's a lot of like English slang in here, like United Kingdom English and Wales and things. All different kinds of European nationalities are expressed in the book, including French, Italian. There is like a Norwegian. I think there's somebody from Sweden in there. So lots of different dialects, lots of different languages kind of come into play in the book, but the whole thing is narrated and written in like this old-timey English, like traditional English writing. So if that is something that is hard for, like, think of Shakespeare, but a little bit easier to understand. If that's something that's hard for you, then Agatha Christie might not be your girl, because it's my understanding that all of her books kind of have this same writing style because of when they were written and the fact that she was from England. So that is important to note. Now, this piece of hair. So we're going to talk about the plot because, the writing style aside, I still felt like I got the majority of the plot. I will say there were some parts of it that kind of got lost, but overall, I got the general idea. So the plot is essentially several different passengers are on this train that gets stopped by a snowdrift, and then one of the passengers gets murdered, and so the detective boards the train. The detective gets word that something is going to go down on the train, but he doesn't quite know what. And he just goes on the train to kind of investigate like some sort of an inside job. And then it turns out that somebody gets murdered on the train. And so therefore he has to conduct the entire investigation from aboard the train. And it has definitely Knives Out vibes, which I absolutely love that movie. I have reviewed it here on the channel. If you scroll down, it was one of my earlier movie review videos, so you would have to scroll way down, but I do have a review of that movie here. However, it gave me Knives Out vibes in that there were lots of different characters, lots of different suspects, lots of different possibilities for who the culprit could be. And then, like, I spent the whole time reading trying to figure out who it could be and trying to piece the pieces of evidence together. And I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't figure it out, but also I felt like there weren't that many significant clues, and I felt like I was kind of pulling at strings throughout reading. But the big reveal, honestly, is a little bit of a letdown. I don't know, I was a little bit disappointed, but there was a big twist at the end of, like, one character in particular. You find out that she is not who you thought she was. But, and that is a little bit of a spoiler in that I just gave her gender away, but the character who gets murdered, he has an entire backstory that, like, kind of ties him to all these different people, and so it's interesting how she worked everybody together, and then it is interesting how it all comes out in the end, but I was just a little bit disappointed in the overall reveal. And that's why I feel like I almost don't know if I can watch the movie because I already know how it ends. So I'm kind of like, reading this book, I would know how the movie ends and know what the big reveal, of the mystery is. But I have heard really good things about And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So I probably would read that one. And then, I don't know, honestly, if I, like, stumbled across some of her books, like, not to be mean, but some of her books, like, on the clearance rack or on a discount rack, like, maybe. But I don't know if I would go out and, like, buy her entire collection of works. It was not, like, that good. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads, but originally I had given it 4 stars because I liked that it was a mystery, and I'm more interested in mystery these days. However, a couple of parts of it I was, like, nodding off and, like, falling asleep. So I did have a hard time keeping my attention invested in the book. So for that reason, I actually bumped my Goodreads review down to a 3-star, and my Goodreads ratings kind of go like this. Like, 5 stars is best book I've read of the year or the month. Like, nothing can top it. It kept me on my toes. I didn't want to stop reading, and I was invested from start to finish. I loved the characters. I loved the story. Like, there was something about it that just kept me going. And lately, like, whenever I think about the best book I've read, it's been Verity by Colleen Hoover for the past 2 years. Like, I get through the whole year, and I don't think so Verity deserved, like, it. I wrote that in my review. Like, I would give this book 11 stars out of 10 if I could. Like, it was the best book that I had read in a really long time. And it is kind of the book that I'm, like, holding all other books to. And, say what you will, some people have very strong feelings about that book, but I just loved it. And so that's kind of but then on the flip side, another really great book that I talk about a lot when I talk about my favorite books of all time is Someone Like You by Sarah Dessen. That one was very emotionally raw, and I loved that one for a completely different reason. And that book, I still remember a lot of details about that book, and I read it in middle school. So for me, that one is another one that's, like, on the top of the list. So 5 stars for me has to be up there in caliber. It has to be, like, very enticing, something that I can't put down, I really want to get to the end of, something with a big twist or, like, a big climax, something like that. Like, something that is just shocking. 4 stars are going to be this is a great book. This is a great book because it's easy to read. This is a great book because it's a fast read. This is a great book because it makes me happy. So these are going to be the great books, but not the ones that like I'm telling everybody about. Like, oh my gosh, you have to read this book. It's just going to be like, yeah, it was a great book. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had no complaints about it. But is it the top? Does it make the cut for like the best book ever? Then the 3 stars are going to be very solid, okay books. Very solid, okay books. Like, it was an okay book. Did it read fast? Yes. Was it enticing? In parts, yes. But were there things that I didn't like about it? Also, yes. So with a 4-star book, there really wasn't anything that I didn't like. It just didn't, like, blow me away. So it's a great book. I don't really have many critiques, but it doesn't go over the top. The 3 stars, there are going to be some things that I don't like about it. Maybe minute things, but it doesn't quite hit the great category. It's just very solid, okay. Agatha, like, this one fits into that category. Very solid, okay book. Like, if you're looking for an easy mystery, a way to get into mysteries that's not, like, super gory or graphic or super scary or thrilling, pick up an Agatha Christie book because they're easy and it's like dipping your toe into the mystery pool. Then we get into the 2-star books. 2-star books are going to be, like, I just really, really, like, disagree with something. So morally, politically, if we want to go there, something in this book really made me uncomfortable, or I would not like to read more books like this. But I finished it, and it just wasn't very good. Like, so either I didn't like it for whatever reason, like it talked about a topic that I just don't like or that I don't agree with, or that I just didn't like it. I didn't like the writing style. I didn't like the humor, whatever the reason. Those are going to be the 2-star, but maybe it took me a long time. Maybe it was a slow burn, a slow read, but then had like a redeeming quality somewhere in the middle. Or maybe it was a slow read with like a redeeming quality and then a big letdown in the end. Something like that. Like, I just didn't, like, the 2 stars are going to be the ones that I did not like. And then the 1-star ones are going to be the ones that I barely finished, like, had a really, really hard time getting through. So the 1-star ones are going to be those ones that take me 6, 7, 8 months to read, unless it's like a nonfiction book that I'm like taking notes on or something. The 1-star ones are going to be the ones that like I would not recommend to other people, would not like keep for my kids to read, like has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Or if I didn't finish it, then that's going to be a 1 star. But I'm a completist, so I typically finish all books, so I don't think there'll be any that are DNRs or DNFs, but that category is reserved, like the 1 star is reserved for those books that I really did not want to finish, or like would not have finished, or don't finish, or was like at the end regretted finishing it. Like, oh, I should have just stopped when I thought I stopped. Like, it was, and Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl that I read last year, it almost, like, that was a 2 star. Like, I just didn't like it at all, but I finished it. It was a pretty quick read because of how it was written, but I just did not like it. So that's, like, I have yet to give anything a 1 star. So yeah, Agatha Christie, very easy mystery author to kind of dip your toe into. Obviously, this is a murder mystery, so go in knowing that somebody dies in the book. And he talks about how they die, why they were killed, the motive, all of that is discussed in this book. So, yes, it's very light and easy, but it does still discuss murder. So, that's that. But that's the first book of 2024, you guys. And overall, it was a good one to start with. Like I said, nice, easy mystery. Definitely has me in the thriller mystery game a little bit more. And currently, I'm reading A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And I'm really excited to get further into that one because I got the whole series for Christmas. And all of those books are on my list for this year. And I've heard nothing but good things. So look forward to those reviews coming as soon as I get the books done. But that's it for this one. Let me know... Oh, I realized that I didn't give it a score like I said I was going to. So I gave this a 3 star on Goodreads. I would rate this a very solid 5 out of 10. Like, I think 5 out of 10 people will enjoy this book. And like I said, it's a very easy mystery, but for a lot of people, it's not going to be enough of that mystery. And then for other people, the language or something else might set them off. So it's going to be a toss-up of if you like it or not, like a 50-50 shot. But I think if you want to try and dip into the mystery genre, this might be a good one to start with. Now that's all for this one. Thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned because we've got book number 2 coming very soon, and I just dropped a YouTube exclusive video featuring my famous guest star, JC, talking about all things All Too Well. So make sure you check that out as well. You can scroll down to find that video. It just dropped at the same time as this one. So if you're watching this video, that video is up and ready to go. So make sure you go check that out. And you can find me live every week on Instagram over at Your Geeky Girlfriend. That's at YOUR_GEEKYGF. And that is also the handle for my eBay storefront for all of your movie, book, music, and game needs. All things media, and I am slowly uploading my library of things, so my books and music and games are coming later, but movies are up and for sale right now, so make sure you go check that out as well if you're an eBay user and looking to add some new movies to your library. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.